The Wrestler, starring a latex puppet that looks like Mickey Rourke.
Oh, give him the Ram Jam! Give him the Ram Jam!
He is weird looking.
That dude looks like, he looks like something out of Lord of the Rings.
Well, that's what happens like when you totally punish yourself, punish your body, but then go get a facelift.
Well, you know,
he got a facelift?
Yeah. He used to be a boxer back in the 80s. He wanted to be an actor
used to be a
and
boxer,
which is the most retarded thing ever.
Well, I mean, he's clearly got some kind of chemical imbalance. But he went through a thing where he was like the sexy Hollywood pretty boy, and he hated that. So he decided, I'm gonna go to the complete opposite. I'm gonna not act. I'm gonna be a boxer.
And he told them, by the way, just beat the shit out of my face. I won't fight back because I don't want to be a pretty boy anymore.
Maybe that's what happened because somebody sure beat the shit out of him.
More than
wanted
likely,
to destroy something beautiful.
Yeah, he was more than likely like taking shots that anybody else would not have.
So who was he boxing? Optimus Prime? Because it looked like a truck hit his ass.
Well, any given moment, it looks like he just got out of a fight. His lips are all swole up and stuff, and going with that bleach blonde hair, I mean, it looks like my girl I took to the prom.
But the thing is first of all, he is who you took to the prom. Secondly,
I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah, that was a reach around you're never going to forget. The thing is that they take full advantage of his looks. He looks like many of the wrestlers who have gotten to that age.
Yeah, he's Dusty Rhodes. He's Ric Flair.
He's
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
Or Hacksaw Jim Duggan, or this is really kind of based more around Jake the Snake Roberts and Diamond Dallas Page and these guys who kind of got up to that age and refused to give up and really should have. And this is the sad, depressing film about a guy who can't let go of his youth. And it really is a fantastic film.
No, it is pretty much a role that if anybody should have played that, it should be Mickey Rourke. As you said, he fits the physical appearance of somebody who not only has aged, but they have aged in a profession where their body has taken so much abuse that it shows. I mean, they have scenes in this movie. Well, I'll tell you what the movie's about. This is a Darren Aronofsky film. His last movie was The Fountain.
And he did Requiem for a Dream.
And Requiem for a Dream and Pie. And with The Fountain, that was some big visual opus that he did. I mean, this movie is such a contradiction to that film because this seems like a very small movie, and it seems so real. I mean, we have actors interacting with people who seem like real people. I'm willing to bet that they are.
Sure, I'm sure they are.
Yeah, and so as you said, this is a guy. Mickey Rourke plays the Ram. His real name is Robin, but he's Randy the Ram. What was his name?
Randy the Ram Robinson.
Robinson, and he is a guy who has at some point had a very, very popular career as a wrestler.
A video game to be based on.
Yeah.
He was essentially like a Bret the Hitman Hart kind of guy back in the 80s.
Damn, dude, you really know your wrestling.
Dude, I was big into wrestling in the 80s. I loved it. And then in the 90s, I got interested in wrestling.
Right. Explains his love of Michael Bay films.
Come clean. Which trailer park did you grow up in?
I grew up. No, dude, I grew up on Air Force bases. And Air Force. I mean, it's that one thing. Everybody was into it in the 80s when they were my age. There was a cartoon show. There was the Saturday morning wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
There was action figures. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper.
Yes.
I spent a lot of time growing up in San Antonio where Bret Michael, the rocker, came from. Or not Bret Michael, Shawn Michaels.
Right.
Who essentially looked like Bret Michaels. So, no, I knew a lot about these wrestlers when I was a kid. And so watching this movie is about those guys that I watched as a kid still trying to live the dream. And here he is working at an Acme Mart, loading groceries because that's the only way he can make money to support his life living in a trailer park while he's doing wrestling on the weekends.
He's worked his whole life being this guy. Not a lot of intelligence is required, but he's a nice guy. You like him. When it comes to that point that they say, hey, man, you can't wrestle anymore. You're too old. You're fucked up. You're going to get hurt. Man, what the hell else are you supposed to do?
Well, it's very tragic because it is a field where he's become very popular and everybody knows who he is within that circle, but there's just no money to be had. And at some point, you just cannot continue to do this. So he is left pretty much poverty stricken.
Well, yeah, I mean, the other part of it is like there's a lot of jobs that like when you can't do it anymore, hey, you go do something else. If you have to take a menial job, that's what you do. But him having a job where he's an entertainer in the spotlight, he takes that menial job. Then everybody who used to see him on TV as a big star now sees him working behind a meat counter. That's hard to deal with.
Not to mention the guy's got the most, the number one sign of pathetic loser. He's in love with his stripper.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's the top mark of loser.
hold the fuck on, Cyrus, because if Marissa Tomei was your stripper, would you not also be in love with her?
No, because I'm not an idiot.
The first rule of Guy Club is you do not fall in love with the stripper.
Absolutely.
What's
I don't
the second
care
rule
what
of Guy Club?
You do not fall in love with a stripper.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, no, I don't care if it was Scarlett Johansson. I still wouldn't fall in love with her if she was my stripper.
Now you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, and then the third rule is you don't talk about Guy Club. But look,
Good job, Leon.
yeah, thank you. You put it all out there. No, I mean, hey, listen. Okay, I admire the rules of Guy Club. I respect them. But if there was any stripper that you were going to fall in love with,
Here we go.
well, no, listen, it would be.
No, I am
Marissa-
with
Hey,
you 100%
It's
today, my
Marissa.
man.
Look, it's Marissa Tomei. She's probably either on the brink of 40 or in her 40s,
Right.
and guys are refusing her. She's vulnerable right now, but she's still hot.
Now, see, here's the thing with Corey. Any naked woman in front of him is the hottest woman in the world at that particular moment.
Did you not see Marissa Tomei in Until Before the Devil Knows You're Dead?
Yeah.
She is hot.
I've seen her in all this. The fact is, if she's a stripper, what led her to stripping is some serious neurosis and daddy issues.
Yeah.
And eventually, you're going to come. And
Well,
not
yes, you will.
Yeah, that's what we wanna do.
But that's when you got to deal with all that other bullshit.
Yeah, that's when
not
suddenly
gonna
you
go
realize
away.
when she's talking after you've already gotten your nut. Oh shit!
Now here's my question. Now we've kind of
It's
skirted
like,
the shores
do
of
you
this.
have an uncle who didn't rape you?
Oh god!
What is it about Darren Aronofsky that makes him take Academy Award winning actresses and whore them up beyond all belief? Does anyone remember Cheek to Cheek, Cheek to Cheek?
Oh no,
cheek
it was
to
no, it
cheek?
wasn't. It was ass to ass.
Yeah. No, because he also.
Yeah, and that is
It
with
was
Jennifer
ass to
Connelly.
ass,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was Jennifer Connelly in Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
I just think he's a horny pervert who would do what I would do.
I think he's a big fan of Frank Miller.
Oh,
Because
Yeah.
Frank Miller writes all his women as whores.
hey,
So
look, man.
Aronofsky finds a way
look,
to do that.
Look. It's
Wait,
like
and Frank Miller wrote the Batman. He brought Batman into this one too.
yeah, exactly. There you go. It comes all full
You
circle.
brought Batman into this.
No, look, man. If you're a director, you can talk any chick, some chick in Hollywood, and get naked if you seem like it's artistic enough. All you gotta do is say, "Baby, this is an Academy Award-winning role right here." Okay.
Well, especially if it's Marissa Tomei, who like now that she's hit 40, is like anxious to take her clothes off and show everybody, "Hey, look,
Her last chance.
Right, like I look better now than I did before. You want to
Yeah.
see?"
And
yeah.
she's actually really incredible in this though.
I got a kid.
You have a kid? Well, what do you have, a boy or a girl?
Boy. Jameson.
How old?
9.
Wow. Who would figure, huh?
Well, it's not something I usually tell the customers. Not exactly. It's not a turn on.
She is fantastic as this character, and it's the perfect juxtaposition. You have these two characters that are really parallel to one another. They really belong together. They're two people who are over the hill, who can no longer do the only thing they know, and that's what they take seriously in life. She plays by all the rules of the stripper. She does everything she needs to do, but she just doesn't have it anymore, and she refuses to give up.
Yeah, that's the only rule is that know when to quit and get out. And she doesn't realize
But they
that.
don't have, neither one of them has anything to fall back on.
Yeah,
Neither one of
right.
them. To the point where we get to, well, hey, guess what, kids? This is the Darren Aronofsky film. So they're not going to ride off into the sunset together.
Yeah, I will admit I have not seen the end of the movie, so I don't know if it's a very depressing film because I'm looking at it just for what it is. Even though we get little hopeful glimpses of them perhaps having some kind of life together or coming to some kind of realization that they have to move on from what their life currently is. I mean, it is a very likable movie. I mean, just based on Mickey Rourke.
It's dark. It's not a happy ending, but compared to other Aronofsky movies, it might as well be It's a Wonderful Life.
Except that it's a perfect ending. That the last shot of this film is just so magnificent and sums up everything about the
does.
film that when it finally goes to black and plays the final song, One Trick Pony, you are just sitting there staring at the screen going, whoa. And I've seen this twice now. I've watched it twice. And it gets better the second time around. It's one of those films that the second time you watch it, when you know where this film is going, you realize all the subtleties he put in there. And it is such a brilliant, profound, beautiful movie.
Yeah.
And another thing is, like, I've listened to Hulk Hogan on talk shows and just talk about other, the way it is for wrestlers. And it's very accurate. A lot of wrestlers,